Nandi Magudumana's urgent High Court application has been postponed to the 1st of June. She wants her arrest and deportation from Tanzania declared unlawful. The postponement is to give Home Affairs time to file legal papers. Minister Aaron Motsoaledi successfully applied to be joined to the case as the sixth respondent. And our senior reporter, Silindelo Masikane, has been keeping a close eye on those proceedings in Bloemfontein. And she joins us now with the latest. Slee, good morning to you. I mean, what happened in court this morning?
Not much, really, Tumelo. We had very brief proceedings here in the Free State High Court. We started just after 10 a.m. this morning, and we had the legal teams representing Magudumana as well as the respondents in the matter in court. Magudumana's lawyers then proceeded to tell the judge that an agreement had been reached between the parties, not only to allow for the Home Affairs Department to join the application, but the other respondents such as the NPA, the Minister of Police, as well as the Kroonstad Prison and the Magistrates Court need also some time to file their opposing papers to this application. So what was then agreed on between the lawyers was that each party would then have to file their papers by a specific date, by a specific time, to allow for the hearing to proceed on the 1st of June. This was then relayed to the judge to say at this point all they required from him was to put the order into effect that the parties had come to an agreement, and that papers opposing the application would be filed on particular dates, so that by the time we return to court on Thursday, then the hearing can be held. Let's just then take a listen to the judge delivering that particular agreement, putting it into effect.
Minister of the Department of Home Affairs of the Republic of South Africa is joined as the sixth respondent. Secondly, the sixth respondent will file its opposing papers, if any, by no later than Monday, the 29th May 2023 at 16 hours 30. Thirdly, the applicant will file its replying affidavit, if any, by Tuesday, the 30th May 2023, no later than 16 hours 30. Fourthly, the parties are to file heads of argument before or on Wednesday, the 31st May 2023, also by no later than 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 1600 hours. And in the fifth place, the application is postponed to the 1st of June 2023 at 9:30 in the morning.
Well, Slee, it comes as no surprise, right, that Home Affairs has now been, joined as the sixth respondent. We've heard from Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, the Home Affairs Minister, that they object to this allegation by Nandi that she was abducted.
Absolutely. We saw a media briefing earlier this week where the Home Affairs Minister not only conveyed his displeasure at the fact that they weren't joined onto the application initially, but he also went on to detail how the lawyers for Dr. Nandipa have been corresponding with the department, exchanging, emails, and from what we understand, the lawyers were looking to be furnished with documentation with regards to how the deportation had taken place. And so we saw the minister then going on to say that they found it sinister that they were not, given the opportunity to also come and address the court. So what we saw today then was a lawyer representing the department coming to court and then, stating that the department did want to join in terms of this application, to oppose it as well. And so from the clip that you've heard, The department's lawyers are also going to have to furnish the court with papers opposing the application and of course their heads of argument ahead of the hearing on Thursday. But we do know that the department insists that Dr. Nandipha was deported and deported legally after they had been contacted by officials in Tanzania to say that they were or they had apprehended 2 South Africans who were in the country illegally. And you would remember the briefing we had post them being found in Arusha, Tanzania. The police minister and the justice minister giving us details around the fact that they were in possession of multiple passports, that they were also arrested with a Mozambican national, and that the passports that they were in possession of had not been stamped. So it wasn't clear as to which border they had entered Tanzania from, but what was clear is that they were in the country illegally, and according to authorities in Tanzania, they had then told South African authorities that they would not hand over Bester and Nandipha to the police, but rather to immigration officials, because this was going to be a deportation as opposed to an extradition or a rendition of the 2. So at this point, it's also still unclear the processes that unfolded when they were apprehended. What we do know from Dr. Nandipha's papers is that she's alleging that in fact they were apprehended by South African police and not the Tanzanian police, and she believes that her arrest in another country was unlawful and that she was abducted and brought back to South Africa illegally, essentially. And she's asking this court to then set aside her arrest and legal processes against her, as well as declare it unlawful as well as wrongful. So the legal experts, in fact, that we've been speaking to have also said that it is going to be quite an interesting application, of course, if it makes it past the argument of urgency.
All right. Well, of course, we leave it there, Silindelo Masikane, as, of course, we continue to not only look into what exactly happened during that time that both Thabo Bester and Nandipha were arrested, of course, through the courts, through the evidence that will be provided, but also looking at the greater scheme of things, Thabo Bester's brazen escape from Mangaung Correctional Centre. It's going to be a long walk to hearing the truth and to seeing whether justice will prevail, but we'll keep a close eye with you. Our eNCA senior reporter Silindelo Masikane out for us in Bloemfontein.